Good morning, everyone. It is definitely a Saturday AM here. I hope everyone is doing well. We got really good sound here. For those of you who are tuning in live or listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube or here on Facebook, hi, it's Saturday. I'm Phylecia Jones, the host and budgetologist of Ask the Budgetologist. And every day I come on and I talk about money with solo business owners and from a perspective of being a solo business owner as well. So we talk about the very thin line of business and personal finances, and I give tons of unsolicited financial advice that nobody asks for, but I'm going to do it anyway because I can. So I hope you're having an amazing Saturday. So what I typically do here on the weekends is I talk about personal finance on Sunday, and you have to tune in tomorrow. You have to. Because we're going to talk about why you need to be hoarding money. It is a very unpopular thing to say out loud right now, but when it comes to personal finances, we need to talk about why you need to start hoarding dollars ASAP. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, but today we're going to just do a little behind the scenes. I usually ramble, but I'm going to talk about managing a team. Yeah, this has been something very new for me because even in my 9-to-5 career, I never really managed a team. I was part of a team and never got promoted to doing any management type stuff until, I led projects, but not for real. But not having to manage a team, manage salaries, managing paying people, managing emotions, never had to do that. And trying to be a friend, but also at the same time being a boss. It's a very difficult position to be in. So what I do, this is my personal brand, Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. This blog, the website, Keep Up with Mrs. Jones is dedicated to just my personal brand where I talk about money, finances, travel, and some of those weird little business things that we find ourselves into. But for my company that was launched last April in 2019, it is iFind You Close. And what we do over there is we actually go out and do tons of research and find speaking engagements for people who want to market their businesses on stage. And yes, there are still tons of live events, y'all. Everybody keeps asking me about virtual events. So I think this weekend I'm going to actually formulate my thoughts on what my official stance on virtual events and like another unpopular opinion about virtual events. But outside of that, so that is the company that I started running last year. Things started taking off and I realized that I needed to bring in help. So I brought in my first help at the end of last year. And that was someone to help with the research because I still have a very busy life, kind of busy, it's semi-busy. So I still do a lot of speaking engagements where I go out and speak about the company, market the company. I also I get paid to speak where I talk about women in tech, STEM, leadership, that kind of stuff. And I still speak on the topic of money. So I'm on a daily TV show where I drop in once a week and answer personal finance questions or give personal finance advice. So I've created a very interesting little pickle for myself. But one of the things I'm really good at is doing the research to go find these events. And what I realized was I needed to hire someone else on to help me do that. Because my time was getting stretched big time. So I was so excited when I brought on my first industry researcher. Her job is just to mainly come in and research industries, help fill in the gaps where I am, where I get stuck. So, and then my next person that I brought on was someone to help manage my life and tell me when to go to bed, when to wake up, when to do all these things, because I still needed someone to help an assistant role to help manage all of the things that's going on. And I brought on a marketing team as well. So one of the things that I have learned, and I've worked with a couple of assistants and the experience has been okay. What I realized with working with a team is that I had this discussion with a friend, and sometimes I think we as the business owner or as the person who hires somebody, we get very frustrated. We get very frustrated because someone's not delivering what we think they should be delivering. And what I realized is that one, especially with our virtual assistants and assistants one, we try to put the entire world on them and not pay them enough. That's the first thing. And then what I've also learned is that I'm not very clear in what it is that I need. So what I've had to really manage with leading a team and managing a team is, one, I needed to be very clear and concise with what I wanted. I've also, I've never been the one, I'm one of those that we're all free. I hired you to do this. You're going to do your job, and I expect you to do your job. And this is something I learned from Gary Vee. Even though you hire people, they will never have the same passion as you do about your business. They may be 60%, 50%, 60% at most about what you do. The best of them will be about 70. So that means there's a 30% where they kind of just don't give a damn. It is not so much they don't give a damn, but they have their own lives to really pay attention to. So what I've had to realize is that I'm going to be the one who's going to be the main one excited about all of this. But I had to be very clear and concise when it comes to communication about what it is that I want, what it is that I need. And I try to, because I've always I don't want to do deadlines and all that kind of stuff. I've had to get to a point of doing deadlines. Oh my gosh, it hurts my heart, but I realize they are so important, because sometimes I'm that way. If you don't give me a deadline, then I'm like, yeah, I'll just get to it later. But I realize that you have to have deadlines, and you can't just throw the entire world at people. You have to be so clear in what you want to talk about, and so clear of what you want to happen, and so clear of the goals. I've also learned that I had to be transparent because of everything that's going on with the COVID-19, coronavirus, the world being shut down. One of the things I did was I got everybody on the phone and just said, hey, I was just transparent with what was going on with the business. Here's what's happening. And I wanted to be very clear and respectful of all of them, that if I am no longer able to afford to pay them to keep the business going, I wanted to make sure that they knew that I respected them enough to tell them to their face, instead of what I know a lot of us are doing. And I know I'm not shaming anybody. I get it. We ignore the invoices. We ignore paying people. We ignore picking up the phone. I mean, I've been on the other side of that a few times, where you have to go hunt somebody down to go pay you and stuff like that. I didn't want to be that person. So I kind of got ahead of it, and just to tell them that if I have to have that difficult conversation with you about business, I will do that. For all of you who are tuning in a little bit late, this is Phylecia Jones. You're watching Ask the Budgetologist. On Saturdays, I just ramble and do a behind the scenes of what's going on in my business and all the other stuff. And today I'm just talking about managing a team. And for my company, iFind You Close, I've had to bring on a team to really start helping me out with what's going on, and to help further the vision of what's going on with the company. And I realized that it's forcing me as a person, as a business owner, to step into a leadership role. And which is so interesting, because there aren't leadership classes for small business owners, or let me be clear, solo business owners. Everybody talks about marketing, profit, growing a business, sales funnel, all of those things, confidence. We talk about so much of that, but very, very few target solo business owners or solo business owners that are managing virtual teams on how to be a leader. And I think when we have not taken leadership classes, because corporate does this all the time, corporate executive leadership, they have that stuff all of the time. I honestly think because we don't focus on leadership, because it's not really drilled into our brain to focus on leadership. I think that's why we run through teams. We run through virtual assistants on a regular basis. We're either rude to them. Sorry, I got to call some of y'all out. We're rude to some of the vendors that we work with. We're frustrated. We don't know what to say. We can't put into words of what we want. We expect miracles when we decide to give somebody money, without really saying what the miracle should be, what the outlook of the miracle should look like. And when I went to Orlando at the beginning of March, I saw and I think I've mentioned this before, it was the former vice president of Disney World, Lee Cockerell. I may be saying his name wrong, but I saw him and his son speak, and they talked about leadership, and I was like, this is very interesting. And I was sitting next to two friends, and I said, but when you are a solo business owner, when you're a small business owner, when you have remote teams, how do you step up and be a leader? Like, how do you do that? Because so many of us, we hire out all these different people and we sometimes rarely bring them all together to say, hey, we are a team. We are all in this together. Here are the goals. And I would love for you to help me express what those goals are. And I just thought it was just interesting. It really kind of got me all in my feelings, all in my brain on this whole thing about leadership. And during a time like this, I honestly think that so many of us as solo business owners, our first step is to step into that leadership role, whatever that is. And my first task with the company, with iFind You Close, was to make sure that the people who are supporting me or I'm paying for and all that kind of stuff, I wanted to make sure that they were okay first. And maybe I did that to the detriment of my clients. Could be. It could be for the detriment of my clients. But like I told everyone that I work with is, I cannot do this without you. Like, I honestly cannot keep running this company without them. I can kind of believe I can. I honestly believe I can do my own marketing, and I've sucked at it. Let's just be straight up honest. I've sucked at my own marketing. I've been really good with my own research. I could also be better, but when you're trying to do 3 billion things at once, that's where you get to. But, and like I said, this was a really hard one for me because I may have, to the detriment to some of my clients, I may have focused on my team, but I also know that if I didn't have this team, I would be putting the company in jeopardy to keep going forward. It's a weird position to be in. It's such a weird position. If you are a business owner, I would love to get your thoughts on this. I would love to get your thoughts on how you are kind of managing this, especially if you have a remote team or a team period, or you have employees. I did a webinar the other day with the CEO of FreshBooks and Michael McDermott, the CEO of FreshBooks, and a former COO of Fortune 500 companies who runs his own business, Bob Prosner, helping small business owners, make their companies grow. And he just said something that was so interesting. He said, being a leader is easy when things are easy. When times are good, when money is coming in, being a leader is so easy. He said, right now, what's going on in this world will determine who are the leaders and who will fail at leadership. And I've really taken that to heart of what that leadership is, because so many of us are seeing that companies are firing people through social media or unpersonalized videos through email. That sucks. Even on a tiny business owner scale, that absolutely sucks. And I really think the leadership part is that we have to be a little bit more human right now. Be more human and treat the people that are supporting us like humans as well. That's kind of where I am with my stance on managing a team. And I think one of the things that I'm going to start adding in with Ask the Budgetologist is the leadership part. And this is just so hilarious for me in that when I started this show back in 2017, it was very focused on one thing, let's have a little fun, let's manage money, let's talk about marketing, which is so true. But I could definitely see the growth. How you grow over time, where running a solo business is kind of all about you, what I can do for you. But all of a sudden, when you start getting a team and managing, it's like, oh, wow, it's not so much what I can do for myself, is what I can do to support these people that have signed on to support me. Even though I'm paying somebody, I mean, we don't have to work with people. They've signed on to support what I'm doing. And wow, it's like, so I really have to think about them first. Because what I've always heard is that sometimes you need to treat the people who work with you and for you 10 times better than you treat your clients. Because I know when all of this is over, let's just say, I have to stop paying people. I have to reduce salaries. I still need them. I absolutely still need them. I still want them to want to feel like they can work with me, especially if we hit some extremely bumpy roads, which I hope we don't get there, but I'm already preparing for if we have to mentally get there as well. So, but managing a team over the last few months has been a very interesting experience. It's very much a growth experience. I have a feeling I'm going to keep growing in this thing. And for a solo business owner, I guess I'm touching on the borderline of running a small business. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But it is definitely where you have to step up into your leadership, and people cannot make miracles happen. Unless you tell them exactly how the miracle is going to happen. So it's been fun. I've absolutely loved having a team and being able to bounce ideas off of people and to hear what they have to say. But it's also forced me to get into a leadership role where I have to be assertive, slightly demanding, compassionate, empathetic at the same time, but still, and friendly and having fun, but still knowing at the end of the day, we got to get a job done. That's a lot of things going on in one little brain, y'all. That's all I got to say. All right. I have rambled enough on this behind the scenes Saturday. It's a beautiful day where I am. Maybe the weather is great where you are. If not, maybe tomorrow's weather would be great. It is Easter weekend here in the United States and across the world, I assume. So hopefully you have a beautiful weekend. Thanks for tuning into my rambling. We will be back to normal programming. Behind the scenes is always just a little fun thing. Fridays are fun. Behind the scenes, I just kind of tell you my little thoughts on the world and business. But tomorrow we are definitely going to jump into personal finances and why you need to be hoarding money at this exact moment. So we're going to talk about why you need to be hoarding money, give you some tips on how you need to hoard, because we talked about that the week before, but I'm okay. I feel like a broken record, and I am okay with being a broken record, but we're going to talk about why you need to hoard money. I think on Monday is going to be a part 2, why you need to hoard money as a business owner. Why you need to hoard money as a business owner. On my webinar, I learned a lot as well. So we're going to talk about that. Tuesday, we're going to talk about how you keep making money in this situation. And on Wednesday, we're going to bring in our CFO. We have the official CFO that's going to stop by and kind of give us the official word on everything that's going on when it comes to money. So I hope you have an amazing day. Have an amazing Saturday. I had a really bad makeup moisturizer choice this morning. This is the problem when you have way too much time on your hands. You start going through all of the products that you should have been using, and I see the ones that just need to not be used ever again. All right, take care. Happy budgeting. See you bright and early tomorrow. Bye.